villains actually lived up to their full potential, they might actually win. It's too bad that they rarely do. My name is AJ with Top 10 Nerd, and these are the top 10 villains holding back incredible power. At number 10 is Magneto. Magneto wields some serious power. You see, his thing is manipulating metals like they're puppets on a string. From crushing the Avengers to outsmarting other heroes, he's a serious force to be reckoned with. But here's the kicker. His ability to tweak electromagnetic energy is on a whole nother level. Magneto isn't just about playing with metal. In multiple occasions, he talks big game about being able to control Earth's magnetic poles. And now that's a big deal because messing up with those poles could mean some trouble for literally everybody on the planet. He's threatened to flip Earth's magnetic switch, which would cause chaos globally. But G never actually goes all the way with it. Instead, he dangles this terrifying possibility like a threat to get what he wants. So he's essentially a bad guy with enough power to shake up the entire world big time. At number 9 is Gore the God Butcher. Gore the God Butcher, as portrayed in the comics, stands tall as one of Thor's most fiercest foes. This guy, Gore, gives Thor a serious run for money. He doesn't just give Thor a hard time. He straight up beats him in almost every single showdown. I mean, there's this one showdown where Thor takes on 3 different versions of Thor and still comes out on top. You see, Thor never actually defeated Gore in a fair fight. Not a single time. Every time it looks like Thor wins, it's either because he talks Thor down with some talk no jitsu, or gets help from somebody else with a team takedown assist. So Gore remains undefeated against Thor in a one-on-one showdown. Just think about that. Gore is undefeated against Thor. And it's not just Thor either, he's even taken down Celestials with that Necro Sword. Now in the movie Thor Love and Thunder, they kind of toned Gore down a bit. Gore's dark and deep storyline clashed with the movie's kind of fun and funny tone. Christian Bale played Gore well, but the character didn't get to shine as much as he could have. He could have been one of the top villains in the Marvel movies, but didn't really quite happen with his whole ending in the movie, which is kind of a shame, really. If you're enjoying the video so far, please support the channel by pressing like, subscribing to Top 10 Nerd, and ringing the notification bell. It's free, it helps us out, and I really appreciate it. At number 8 is Sandman. Flint Marko, better known as Sandman, might not be the first villain to pop up in your head when thinking about Spidey's most amazing foes, but back in the day, he was a big deal in the Amazing Spider-Man, a founding member of the Sinister Six, as he took center stage as the main baddie. But as time passed, folks started to see him as kinda weak. I mean, a guy made of sand doesn't really sound too scary, right? But Sandman's powers are no joke. He can get as hard as concrete or let things pass right through him, and that makes him a nightmare to fight. Remember Spider-Man 3? Sandman was meant to be the big bad for that movie before the studio pushed for Venom. And in Marvel's Zombies, he wrecked an alternate Spider-Man with ease and pushed him to his limit. At number 7 is Galactus, one of Marvel's big guns, faced off against the big shot Celestials in a showdown that rocked the comics. Specifically Fantastic Four number 602, Galactus barges into an interstellar brawl among the Kree Empire, the Inhumans, and the Annihilation Wave, situation that could wreak havoc for our entire solar system. The Fantastic Four ropes him in to help, and Galactus steps up, taking on the Kree with ease. Then boom, 4 Celestials from Earth 2480 crash the party. Galactus squares up, showing that he's not a pushover, and they gang up on him, but Galactus gives back as good as he gets, offing one of them. But then 3 of the Celestials merge into a Super Celestial and zap Galactus, and it looks like it's a game over. Enter an adult Franklin Richards from the future, who takes down one Celestial but can't handle the others. And in a twist, Franklin Richards powers up Galactus, who comes back roaring, and with newfound strength, Galactus tears through the Celestial in half, proving his might. Now, even though Galactus needed help against the merged Celestials, he was a one-man wrecking crew otherwise. Taking down 2 Celestials bare-handedly solidifies him as Marvel's powerhouse. At number 6, Blob might not strike you as a big deal, but he's kind of a big deal. This guy is basically an unstoppable force. He can basically decide, hey, I'm not moving from this spot, and bam, nothing can budge him. Plus, he's nearly indestructible and has muscles that could give the Hulk a run for his money. The thing is, Blob's not exactly the brainiac of the group. He hangs out with the Brotherhood of Mutants, but he's always in the background, just being the strong guy. He's got the potential to be a star of the show, though. He can take down entire teams of his own, but instead, he's always just playing second fiddle to the main bad guy. Now, what's more intriguing is how Blob becomes immovable and what he can do with that power. But sadly, it's never really explored to its fullest potential. Blob's holding back some serious power, and that's a shame because he's not making the most of it. At number 5 is Proxima Midnight, part of Thanos' squad. The Black Order is a serious powerhouse in the comics. In Infinity War, she didn't quite get the spotlight that she deserved. Her spear might not have a fancy name like the Infinity Gauntlet, but it's crazy strong. Thanos made the spear by trapping a star in a special space rocket, making it a star, a black hole, and a supernova all at once. When she throws her spear, it splits into 3 black light tracers, making it impossible to miss. It's not just for throwing though, it can zap victims into cosmic nets powered by an entire star. But in the movies, she's kind of toned down. Like in the comics, she's tough, like fighting Luke Cage tough. She even took on Thor at one point. She can handle a beating too, from energy blasts from Captain Marvel, Thor's lightning, even hits from Mjolnir. She's wrecked entire teams, beaten the Hulk, and wrecked multiverses with her power. Proxima Midnight is a heavyweight in Marvel, no joke. At number 4, Omega Red burst onto the Marvel scene like a firework. He was a Soviet mutant soldier with crazy powers, unaliving spores and tentacles made of carbonadium. Now his first showdown against Wolverine and the whole blue team was insane, as he absolutely obliterated him, proving how tough he was. But then in the twist, after that epic debut, he kinda lost his mojo. Instead of battling teams, he got stuck duking it out with just Wolverine, and he kept losing. Kinda hard to believe considering he took out Wolverine and his entire team the first time. This powerhouse took on a whole team by himself, but ended up getting beaten by one guy, a short, grumpy Canadian, no less. It's almost as if he hit his peak too soon. Omega Red went from being this big, scary villain to just another baddie who couldn't handle a solo fight. At number 3 is the Antimatter, a big bad in DC Comics. This was a serious powerhouse. His main gig was wrecking the universe with his antimatter wave, at things like a wrecking ball smashing through buildings. He was way stronger than those super strong Kryptonians before the Crisis stuff went down, and his age gave him skills that nobody could match. The dude almost wiped out everything, but the heroes pulled a Hail Mary to stop him. But here's the thing, after he went full berserk and destroyed a couple of Earths, he suddenly put the brakes on that antimatter wave move. Instead, he started going for these overly complicated plans to undo his universe with demolition. In later gigs, he ditched using that crazy strong power altogether. It's almost as if he got tired of using a universe wrecker and wanted to be more of a schemer. At number 2 is the Shadow King. This guy's a big deal in the X-Men world, but when it comes to it, he's kind of like a balloon without air. He talks big game all the time, wanting control of everybody on Earth, but when push comes to shove, he always falls short. It's like when you're all set to play a video game, but your controller's out of batteries. Kind of frustrating and a letdown. He's this astral plane dude, so you'd think he'd have some serious cosmic power, but nah, he just keeps going after the toughest telepaths in X-Men instead of picking off the easiest targets. Almost as if he's choosing to play on hard mode when he can switch to easy and actually win for once. Honestly, it's a bit of a disappointment in the villain department. For someone with such grand plans, he ends up being more of a comic relief than a serious threat. At number 1 is Perpetual, the big baddie in DC Comics with some serious powers. We're talking about making entire multiverses. Like many universes all at once. She's like the top dog in creating all these different worlds, but here's the kicker, even though she's had this mind-blowing ability, she just never really lets loose with it. Imagine this, the Justice League with all of their powers combined couldn't even stop her. She's that strong. But when she's got all her strength back and took over almost everything, she still didn't go all out with her mega creation powers. And that's why she got taken down by the Batman who laughs. The regular Batman who's a little loco. Kind of weird, right? I mean, if you got the ability to make entire universes, why are you holding back? Maybe she just thought ruling one multiverse was enough, or maybe she just didn't want to deal with all the consequences. But it's a classic case of a super powerful villain not using their full potential. As always, if there's a villain who should be way stronger than they are that you think I've missed here in this video, feel free to let me know down in the comments. This has been AJ Spatola with Top 10 Nerd, and I'll catch you all in another video. Peace out, nerds.